Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Meaghan Chitwood Live. I am really excited to introduce all of you to Tammi Holley, who is with the West Alabama Chamber of Commerce. And we're going to talk about why chambers are so important, especially to small business. But we're also going to talk about how BNI and the chamber work brilliantly together. So let's get started. Just as a reminder, you can catch us each and every week at 11 a.m. Central Time live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And you can also catch us on Instagram as well as LinkedIn and recordings. And always subscribe so that you get notifications when we have a new episode out. Tammi, thank you so much for being here with me today.
Thank you. I'm so excited for being invited. First of all, thank you so much.
You're so welcome. So, first of all, let's talk about your role at the West Alabama Chamber is in workforce development. So, tell people what workforce development does for your specific community.
So, West Alabama Chamber of Commerce, we serve as the the nonprofit to host our regional workforce council, which is West Alabama Works. So we're a 9-county region. Back in 2015, the governor decided to break the state up into 7 regions for workforce, and each region is to focus on workforce on the industry and business level, but also for the consumers, those individuals that are having difficult times finding jobs. So we work closely with those individuals and our community and four-year college system to help prepare them with training, with work-ready positions or training opportunities to prepare them for those positions and to help them move up in those positions. So on the chamber side, we work closely with non-members and members of the chamber as well.
So what does that look like on a day-to-day basis on what you do specifically?
A lot of craziness. If you've watched any news channel right now, you see that every company, every small mom and pop is going through a hard time now finding employees, and what we're seeing is that we're having to not necessarily say that people are not wanting to work, but we just have to find different ways to reach those individuals. So we try a different approach with training and with having those outreach events and going out and talking and being more involved with the community versus just waiting on the people to come to us.
Yes, you're right. Everyone, I literally recently said to myself, like, where are all the people? Where are all the people that everybody needs? Because
Right.
they may not even exist, right? We just might have more opportunities than there are people to fulfill them, which is an interesting challenge for all of us to have. So how do you keep your pulse on all of that going on in the community?
Well, we have a team. It starts from the state level all the way down um, us, to the councils. Within those 7 councils, each council has their own CEO. Each council has a group of project managers, and then within those project managers, we work within our chamber body and also our nonprofits as well that have that same interest. So, for instance, like our career centers, they have the same vested interest that we have as West Alabama Chamber. And we work closely with them, and then the community college as well. So and you take it a little bit deeper. So one thing that we have, I think, is West Alabama, is that we start with our K-12 program. So we're looking at the people that are bodies that are willing and able to work now. But if we start looking at our K through 12 system, working with those kids early on, and building that stability, showing them the understanding and giving them the opportunities, that's where it's like, it's mind blowing. It's the opportunity for them to see outside past the normal credentials. Everybody thinks about being a teacher, a doctor, a lawyer.
Mhm.
Those are things that we see every day constantly, a police officer, firefighter. But we never think about the person that changes our oil. We never think about the person that builds our car, honestly. Because when you think about it, you have a motor, you have the engine and the motor, but what about the door, the seat belt, the steering wheel? Those things are very important to us. And fortunately for us, we have manufacturing is one of our largest partnerships in West Alabama. So it's recognizing those opportunities and taking advantage of that while we have that time now.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, and you're right. Getting people, I mean, I think about talking to my own children about what do they want to do, and it's the
Mm-hmm.
teacher, it's the engineer, you know,
Right.
And then I recently talked with my sister, interestingly enough, and she said, like, should we be forcing, really like forcing our kids to go to college? And I'm like, oh, I don't know about, I don't want to go there. I don't know. I don't want to go there because, they may have a love for something else other than that if they get exposure to it.
Right. And that's what, and if you, that you mentioned that. So if you think about it, I graduated in 1998. During my 17 years in school, not saying, well, I don't know if it's forced or not forced, but the mindset was that after you graduate from high school, you have to go to college.
Yeah.
You need to get a degree. That's the one thing that we were always taught. And now today, I look at it as I see individual with degrees that may not be doing what their degree is for.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, we've spent this time in school. We spent this 12 years working on a high school diploma. Then we went and started on either a 2-year or 4-year degree. And within that, we really hadn't really thought about what it is that we want to do or even had a passion to do. And we just went into something and just went head first because that was what we had to do. And instead of looking at your passion and what you want to do and what brings you joy and commitment to, it's like, okay, now we're just jumping from one job to the next job to the next job, trying to find that passion.
Yeah, absolutely. It is very interesting. So my children and I played the game of life recently,
Uh-huh.
and in there, right, you've got your college degrees and your non-college degree careers, right? And
Right.
I'm sitting thinking about, wow, this is going to be interesting. Let's see what happens. And my daughter won the game as a hairstylist. She won the
Really?
game. She made way more money than I did. I think I was an attorney, right? Did she
Uh-huh.
over the course of time? So it was just interesting to sit back and say, like, there isn't just one. There's not just one way to go. And then in entrepreneurship and things like that, it's a
Right.
whole different conversation, right? Whole different
Right.
conversation when you're on business.
Right. Right. And that's
Yeah.
that's a good example. The game life. I never thought about that one.
Yeah.
Shoot, let's make a
It's I
mental
mean,
note of that one.
you can try. I didn't really think about it until you had mentioned that. But I was like, and then you go back and forth as a parent and go like, what, like, was that good? Or like, are we encouraging her to be but it's, but I think you're right about finding the passion and being able to, ultimately contribute to your community as well.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I
Yeah.
mean, thinking about it, even okay, cosmetology. She goes to school. She finished that cosmetology degree. She throw in some business courses in that to prepare herself to be a equipped business owner. She's gonna explode. She's gonna go high. She'll have so much, and then she's been a business owner from the very beginning. It's just learning how to manage her finances, how to negotiate contracts, how to set her pricing to where she's a high demand.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so interesting that I love that
Right.
we have resources in the community that are constantly working on that as well.
Mm-hmm.
So you are a BNI member, which I
Yes.
think is rather abnormal. Like I go across the country, it's rather abnormal for chambers to be a part of BNI from what my research has shown me. However, when I joined BNI in 2004, there was a chamber person in my chapter and it worked brilliantly.
Uh-huh.
And so what I want to talk about is What was, when you decided to come back, because you were a BNI member before in a different industry, what made you decide to come back as a chamber representative to BNI?
Well, the first thing was I really had to sit and think about the benefits for both. Is it going to be something that it could be inferential for both BNI, but more so the chamber? And when I think about it, it was a no brainer, honestly, because the relationships that I already had with that group, one, played a part in it. You have to be frank in that, but taking away the relationships that I have with each individual and thinking of the business side, it's a no-brainer. The Chamber of Commerce is your marketing 101. As a member of the chamber, it gives you marketing. It's putting your name in your business name in front of other chamber members, in front of potential chamber members, but more importantly, in front of consumers. If you think about as you travel, if you're as you plan to travel summer vacation, for instance, if you're going to somewhere new, the first thing you want to look at is the Chamber of Commerce website, their tourism website. And those websites usually have member information listed on those websites.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a no-brainer for me. It's a easy, it was an easy response to it, and it's a commitment that I thought would be worth every penny of it.
Yeah.
When my very first BNI, I guess, interaction or referral
Yeah.
was when I was in advertising, I guess is a good way to put it. One of my members, Home Comfort Solutions, his business, they focused on HVAC
Yeah.
units. And I would call him regularly with any type of ad deal that I had. And so this particular weekend, I had an opportunity for some full page ads. So he ran a full page ad with me that Sunday. That Tuesday following, not thinking anything about him being the featured speaker for that week, his first thing he did was take that ad and put it on the podium. And I'm like, oh Lord, did I mess this up? That was the first thing that came to mind. But he said that one ad that he may have paid 100, maybe 200, $300 for, got him $5,000.
Yeah.
So it was a no-brainer for me to any type of business or anything that I was tied to. I would find a way to tie BNI to it. And it makes sense. It's a perfect fit. And everybody thinks, I think one of the things that I mentioned was, how is the chamber going to be beneficial to my business when BNI gives me referrals, for
Yeah.
instance, or my chapter members give me referrals. Well, my opportunity is referrals automatically. They may not be noted referrals or documented referrals, but they're referrals because someone is going to pick up that phone and call you when they need that service. We have our chamber directory that
Mm-hmm.
we publish yearly. We also have our 4-quarter publication that's called our Rising Tide. That's an opportunity, a branding opportunity there. We have sponsorship packages. We have our Adopt a School program where businesses can adopt a school. I mean, who doesn't pick their child up from school?
Yeah.
Who's not gonna notice that this business is donating paper of
Yeah.
reams of paper to the teachers where they don't have to purchase that. It's a perfect opportunity for any business. I honestly believe.
Absolutely. And the one thing you said that I do want to drive home is, yeah, in BNI, it's very trackable, right?
Mm-hmm.
Referral goes into the system. You know exactly. I mean, it's one of the unique things that BNI has, but you were right. You made a comment like, how do you know you didn't get something from the chamber? If you said
Right.
the chamber didn't do anything for me, because you don't, unless you're great about saying, where did you hear about us? And you get somebody to say every single time where they did, it is going to be
Right.
very difficult for you to track as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I love also one of the things you do in your own chapter is you make sure that they're very aware of all the networking opportunities that the chamber has, as well as all the opportunities you just mentioned as well. So it's always top of mind, other networking opportunities in the community, which I think is hugely valuable just to keep people up to date on
Right.
things as well. Yeah.
Right.
So you have a unique, one of our code of ethics within BNI is is that I will live up to the ethical standards of my profession, right?
Right.
And a chamber does have a different type of ethics that at first glance, BNI members might go, whoa, what is that? Because you won't be able to pass all of your referrals for business opportunities to people in BNI. So let's talk a little bit about that and how that works and the understanding your chapter has around that.
Um, there.
So first, talk about talk about how referrals are passed within a chamber. If someone calls and said, "I need IT services," kind of what does that look like?
It gets a little bit tricky sometimes. For me, what I like to do is kind of ask deeper questions first when it comes to the referrals, and saying, okay, have you tried anyone that may be a chamber member before
Yes.
before making those referrals, and then trying to narrow it down and having those one-to-one conversations before saying, okay, this is a perfect referral for you, and then finding out what it is that they're needing and going from there. And instead of sticking to the ethics of BNI, and instead of, okay, I'm going to just pass this information to you, but let's put together a one-to-one and have that conversation first and then go from there. And it's the same thing with chamber members that may not be in BNI, because it's still having that, because they're still thinking the same way as a BNI member, but a chamber member, well, you're supposed to think about chamber members first. It's like, no, we're supposed to think about the community. What's going to be the bigger picture, the bigger scope? And I think that's where I can say our CEO, our COO, our team, that's our focus. It makes it easy because it's a family. Mm-hmm. And when you're thinking of business, it's really a family organization. It's you think about it that way. It's what's going to be best for little Johnny. Mm-hmm. Not necessarily. It may not be a referral opportunity for me, but I want to look at what's going to be best for your business. So I don't know. It's a play-by-play opportunity, 100%. I believe.
Yeah. And in my experience with the person who was in the chamber with me is she said, like in her case, she said, I need you to be a chamber member so that I can ethically pass business to you, and make introductions for you, which then got all of us to be chamber members, which was great. I personally, as an executive director, want people to be a part of the chamber because mm-hmm. you will get better and bigger word of mouth because you are out in the community even more if you're a member of the chamber as well. So you can hear more referrals needs, you can and you're more visible, right? You're much more visible in the community. And visibility, credibility, profitability, one of the things we talk about in BNI, the chamber just helps you massively with visibility.
Right. Yeah, it's a good opportunity for sure. I think last year proved a lot for us. With COVID, everything shutting down. It was an opportunity for, unfortunately, we could have been sit somewhere not doing any work, but I think we held our own. We reached out. We spent our time. We spent a lot of days just calling members, calling business owners around West Alabama and just checking on them. And that was something that I know a lot of members and non-members appreciated. That it was like, okay, it felt good to hear that phone call and like, is there anything we can help you with?
Yeah. Well, and the one thing that I have loved about having these conversations with BNI members has been the relationship part of it, right? And mm-hmm. how not the relationship with us, but a relationship that you just said. What I heard was relationships were hugely important, and we were just checking on business owners because it was a hard time being a business owner, right. And that relationship building element of it is just the foundation of being successful in general.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Absolutely. So So with a chamber of if a chamber of commerce were considering BNI, what would you say are things that they should consider, both pros and cons, of potentially partnering with the BNI chapter to help reach your goals?
So as a chamber, I guess more still continue to work, due diligence. Everything is worth everything you put into it. So just holding your ground, being able to work and hit the ground work running. That's one. I think every day for us has been a different day. So we're always doing something. We're always involved in something. So we try to stay heavily involved in our communities as much as possible. But at the same time, there are sometimes we're not able to.
Yeah.
So just being diligent and persevering through tough times, I think, would be the key.
Got it. And then you and we started the conversation a few days ago about we have a common problem. And our common problem is sometimes people have the perception that you can just write a check to the chamber and things come to you, referrals come to you from the chamber. And we were talking about how in both of our cases, right, you have to work it, right? You have to do the activities. What are some great activities that somebody can do with the chamber to get great results for their businesses?
Ooh, so some of the things that we do as a chamber, West Alabama. So we do a monthly business after hours, and those after hours are hosted by chamber members. So we usually plan those out a year in advance, and from there, it's invitation. Your name is top of mind on those newsletters. It's published on our events on our website. Another huge partnership, I think we're super, it's like a baby, is our adopt a school programs. So our adopt a school programs is where a business pick a school, stick to that school, and that school has a coordinator, and also we have a person that they work closely with, and each month they do various things. Our adopt a school program actually last on September the 9th, we had a golf tournament, and that tournament had different sponsorship opportunities. There was a whole sponsorship. There was a sponsorship just to donate water. Our another program too that we have are our ambassadors. Our ambassadors are people that are a part of our chamber members, but they're coming from the business, and they spend that time to focus on ribbon cuttings. They volunteer at various events. I'm trying to think of some more. We do West Alabama Works, our regional workforce. We work closely with all of the industries as well, and with West Alabama Works, you wouldn't have to be a member. So it could be an opportunity for BNI members to reach out to their regional workforce council.
Yeah.
There's 7 in the state, so we're region 3. You find out which region you're in, and they always are looking for partnerships. It's a good opportunity for training. They offer supervisory staff training as well. So if you're having some issue, maybe some supervisory issues, or maybe your supervisors hadn't gone through any type of training, that's opportunities there for that as well. I'm trying to think of so much. We
Let's
try to
just
have
get
a good
involved,
amount.
right? Jump in and
Yeah, just
figure
get
out where
involved.
if like I've thought about that a lot. We hear BNI members talk about we have I think lots of insurance companies maybe, but insurance companies having special deductions for teachers as an example. That's a great opportunity to adopt a school and
Right.
get your name in front of all of the teachers that you can actually benefit as well. It's just really bottom line, you got to get involved. A
Right.
chamber nor BNI are like, well, they're very much like a gym membership, right? You can pay your money for
Right.
the gym membership, but if you don't come in and do the reps, you're going to look exactly the same, and
Right.
you're going to feel exactly the same as you did before.
Right.
Yeah, get involved. Absolutely get involved.
Right.
One of my hopes, or one of the things that I would love to have happen if I could wave my magic wand and poof, is for us to have people who sell memberships at the chamber become a part of BNI, because we can
Yeah.
refer people, right? We hang out with small
Right.
business owners and sales professionals all the time. We can refer. And that was the magic when I was in a chapter with a chamber involved, is, we would in essence sell memberships for her. And one person even was like bringing her the paperwork and the checks back then, right? And the checks, and being like, here's a new chamber member for you, because we just believed in it. We believed in it so much. And then again, the value to BNI members is you get them more involved in the community, and the more involved people are in the community, the more referral opportunities they'll have for each other, because they'll be out and about and hearing, needs, meeting the person that you just said you wanted to be introduced to. I just think it's a brilliant partnership that we can have.
Yes.
So.
I think so I think I am the first chamber employee to be through a BNI group. Our director of membership, I think she's potentially looking at Jean's group as well. And so it's, we're thinking it's a tag team opportunity for sure.
100%. And again, the more, and cross chapter referrals, right? Go visit another chapter, cross chapter referrals in terms of, becoming a chamber member. I think the visibility, I want the chamber to have visibility in each of our chapters, because again, me personally didn't have a gigantic marketing budget. So joining a chamber and going to all the networking events, and then joining BNI and being really engaged there as well, really got me everything I needed as a coach consultant.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, literally everything I needed. Like I became well known. Well, so here's a little bit of the story. So I joined the chamber, joined BNI. I had just landed in Huntsville, hadn't lived in the area in years, and joined those two things, went to every event that I could possibly go to with both organizations. And within 2 years, it felt like everybody knew me, right?
Right.
Which is because if everybody knows me, then if they need my product or service, they're going to call me for it, without me having to pitch and hawk business cards on a regular basis. So it was just a great opportunity for me personally. And so I would love for all BNI members to have that opportunity as well.
Okay. Yes. I think that's good. That's a story in itself.
Yeah. So is there anything else that we have not covered today that you would like for people to know about the West Alabama Chamber?
I don't know. I work with our team is awesome. And not just our office staff, our directors are amazing. It's a lot of work, but I wouldn't trade it for nothing in the world.
The passion project, right? You're doing, you're doing such great things for the community every single day. Yeah.
Right.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for being here. I love giving everybody the opportunity to really understand what a chamber does. And thank you for being a part of BNI as well, and believing in what we do so much as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for the opportunity, as always.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome. So next week, we are, Jean Lewis is going to be with me. We are going to be talking about branding. We're going to be talking about marketing. We're going to be talking about all kinds of things within his business as a business consultant that will really help you in your business. So look forward to that next week. And with that, have a fabulous week. And we hope to see you next week.